I can't believe I have to make this video. I can't believe I have to make this video, but apparently I'm going to have to do it. Okay, excuse me. You're hearing a lot of people say that, a lot of people are worried, oh my god, Nintendo's going the wrong way. Particularly one of my viewers and subscribers, and this video is for you, and people like you. I'm going to read your response, what you think is going on, and then I'm going to assuage your feelings. This is not a calling out video, this is me just calming, assuaging your feelings, okay? I'm not exposing anyone because that's stupid. I'm just explaining away what's going on and why you shouldn't be worried about Nintendo partnering up with DNA. After the cut. Okay then, let's get this party started. Okay then, this particular interaction began with you saying in my calm down, Nintendo would be fine and so will you video podcast, saying that I think we are in Nintendo's last years. I disagree with that, but if you want to believe that, that's your choice. I responded with, we aren't in Nintendo's last year. Stop being reactionary. Nintendo's just made moves to keep themselves relevant for the next 50 years, and they'll be fine. Then you respond with not being reactionary. I'm very dissatisfied with Nintendo this gen. I want Nintendo to be awesome like it was, and it seems they don't want to change. Nintendo was direct competition with PlayStation and Xbox before. Now they're far from that. We can't keep defending. We gotta let them know that there's a problem and we're upset. And then I say, in response, you don't seem to get it. Nintendo isn't thinking about Xbox or PlayStation. And then I said, you know, I'm just gonna do a video because it's easier that way. What can I say about it? Okay, first of all, oh god, oh my head. Okay, keeping this positive. Okay, first of all, Nintendo isn't really in competition with Sony PlayStation. I know you're going to hear people say the console wars and all that stuff, but this is business. Nintendo doesn't give a shit about Sony or PlayStation. They do things in their own time, using their own, using their own judgment when they fucking feel like it. They don't care about other people's, especially their competitors' moves. Okay? Sony and Microsoft, for lack of a better word, have bent over backwards to placate third parties. Nintendo's like, look, we want you to work with us. We don't want you to work with us because you think you're going to get a huge payday, although we're all going to get paid if this shit goes off well. We want you to work with us because you want to work with us and you respect what we stand for. If you don't, fuck out. That's how Nintendo rolls. In terms of Nintendo's development skills, in terms of Nintendo's philosophy towards how they run their business, there's no comparison between them and Sony and Microsoft. You can't compare it. It's two totally different things. It's like comparing a cat to a dog. They're two completely different animals, and they have very few things in common. That's just the way it is. In terms of Nintendo being competition for PlayStation and Xbox, are you kidding me? Seriously? Okay, let's go all the way back. Okay, the GameCube, the Xbox came out during the tail end of the N64, or maybe around the same time that the GameCube launched. the Xbox was not competition for the GameCube. The Xbox was made to compete against the PS2. It still got its ass kicked. And to tell you the truth, the GameCube got its ass kicked by the PS2 as well. There was no competition during that console. If you want to go back to Sony, the PS1 kicked the N64's ass. There was no competition. Nintendo wasn't even trying to compete with them. They were like, okay, this isn't going to work. We need to do something different. So they said, we're going to switch to discs and we're going to have a powerful console. They did. Nothing changed. When Nintendo directly competes against Sony's industrial know-how, not industrial know-how in terms of technical expertise, but who they know and the relationships they've formed with various other third-party corporations, they can't compete with that. Okay, that's not their thing. And they can't compete against Microsoft's money. What they do have is excellent development philosophy that's done them pretty well for the 30-something years they've been in the hardware and software business, and really fucking good first-party IPs. That's what they get. And they're leveraging the shit out of that, okay? So basically, using the, and so I guess you must be talking about the Wii and DS generations. Well, I hate to break this to you, but the DS was not really competition with anything else. The PSP was not competition with DS. Basically, here's what the PSP was. Sony saw that there was a huge piece of the pie, and they said, shit, boom, we want a piece of that pie. That's it. There was no competition involved with it. Because you ain't taking the dedicated handheld device market away from Nintendo. Even though it's shrunk, you ain't taking it away from them. There's no competition in that field. And the Wii influenced the market. The market didn't influence the Wii. Okay? Because of the Wii, Microsoft shot themselves in the ass with the Kinect 2.0, with the new thing. Sony made those laughably original the PS Move, which was not a Wiimote with a ping pong ball painted with fluorescent paint on the end of it. It wasn't, even though it was. So I mean, I guess that's your argument about that it somehow just does not. I mean, that's not how this shit works. I'm sorry. Nintendo right now they're making the moves to make the Nintendo platform bigger than it was. Okay, so Nintendo's making it so that not only will the Nintendo platform be their physical consoles, the Wii U, the 3DS, which I got my new 3DS, and let's see here. Jesus Christ. Cracker. My old 3DS. Not only will the Nintendo platform encompass these two sons of bitches, and the Wii U, and the Wii, the Nintendo platform will encompass this, my PC. I mean, if they can reach people who have these devices with their IP and entice 1 out of every 4, hell, fuck that, 1 out of every 5. If 1 out of every 5 people who have a smartphone and a PC are enticed to purchase Nintendo hardware and software, they win. They win. They're making moves to keep themselves relevant for the next 50 years. And if that means that they create experiences that can only be experienced on smartphone, so, I mean, it doesn't mean they're going to stop making dedicated hardware or software. If anything, this means that they'll have more money to put into their dedicated hardware and software. Because here's the thing, even though Nintendo might not be selling as much hardware as they want to, they're still making a good amount of money on the software, and that's their core philosophy. You buy our shit to play our shit. They're just redefining what our shit, buying our shit, the platform that's on. Buying our shit could also mean the new Nintendo network on a smartphone or on a PC. The same way Microsoft has their Xbox Live App Store, or Google has Google Play, or Apple has the Apple Store, or EA has Origin, or Good Old Games has Good Old Games, or Humble Bundle has Humble Bundle. They're creating their own ecosystem, and they're really making big moves to do that. I did not see this coming, but I mean, I've said this before. I never make predictions on Nintendo in terms of what they're gonna do, because who would have thought this? If you had told me 2 years ago Nintendo would have entered a partnership with a mobile company in order to increase their market penetration, I would say you were batshit crazy. So, I mean, think about it like this, okay? Let's say you play Pokemon on Nintendo's new 3DS, okay? They release one more Pokemon, let's say, just for shits and giggles, Pokemon X and Y 2, okay? They release that game. You play that game, okay? And let's say they release Pokemon Tower Defense, Pokemon Pokeslots on your smartphone. Let's say you win 50 Great Potions, but you can't use them in Pokeslots, but using the power of the Nintendo Network, you can send that shit to your game through the interwebs, because everything's interconnected. You just, now, if you already own that stuff, but what if you don't own the new 3DS? Or what if you do, you don't own Pokemon? You played this game, you're like, well shit, I got all this shit that I won, I want to use it. So you buy the game. They just got $35 or $39, however much Pokemon costs. $39. They bought the game. Nintendo made money. They take that money and use it to put toward their next whatever it is, okay? Nintendo making money is a good thing, because they take that money and put it towards games, because that's how they make still a large chunk of their money. The DNA relationship, even if it takes off like gangbusters and they bring in billions, they're still going to make software, because that's steady money. See, here's the thing, okay? The mobile market is a bubble, okay? Shit rises and falls all the time, okay? Flappy Bird's about ran out, okay? Hardware and software market is still a bit more stable, okay? People still buy consoles, okay? People still buy this shit. So they're not gonna quit anytime soon. I guarantee Nintendo will still be making consoles 20 years from now. More than likely, okay? They'll still be making consoles, they'll still be making whatever. More than likely, they'll still be making consoles. Because that's just, especially if they can make it so that they can reach, let's say, 60 million people, and 1 out of every 3 of those people go out and buy a 3DS or whatever new console Nintendo makes, that's 20 million people buying their consoles. That's pretty damn good, and that's not including the people who might be Nintendo diehards and are already going to buy it any day. So, calm down. This is not a bad thing. Yes, it's change. I understand that. I'm an old school gamer. I don't like change, but sometimes change is good. Who the fuck is calling me? Sometimes change is good, okay? Sometimes change is necessary and change is good. And look, I understand where you're coming from. When I first saw the Wii and the Wiimote, I'm like, fuck, I don't want to be doing hand motions the entire time I'm playing a video game. But change was good. Change was good. When they went from the Game Boy Advance to the DS, I waited several years before I got a DS. Because I didn't like change. Change! Ugh. But change can be good, okay? I'm gonna be getting a dog this summer. Change is good. Change is good. Calm down. Change is good. Okay? Nintendo making changes, let me put it this way, okay? When Sega made changes, they faltered. Sony has made changes, and I'm less than happy with it. But when Nintendo normally makes changes, they're pretty good. So, have faith, okay? Have faith, okay? There's a lot of things, look, I'm a skeptic about a lot of things. But if someone has a proven track record of generally doing good when they do make a change, I can give them a little bit more leeway. And generally speaking, when Nintendo makes a change, it's pretty good. So calm down. I mean, yeah, there's the Virtual Boy, but that was, I mean, hell, that was their 32-bit console. It flopped. They said, fuck that. We're gonna jump straight to 64. They did, and the N64 was fucking awesome. So calm down. Things will get better. And, you know, look, trust that Nintendo knows what the fuck they're doing. I trust that they know what the fuck they're doing. You trust that they know what the fuck they're doing. Okay. Alright. The conclusion after this. Okay then. In conclusion, as the title says, this is the conclusion. Look, I understand. It's a little, you know, I'll be frank with you. I was iffy on the Wii U gamepad, but it was a change. It's good. Every single console Nintendo's done was a great change. N64 was a great change from the SNES. The SNES was a moderate change from the NES. The GameCube was a moderate change from the N64. The Wii was a 180 change from the GameCube, and the Wii U is a 180 away from the Wii. But as a gaming console, it works. So, you know, and I don't know about a lot of people, but I buy gaming consoles to play games. I don't buy gaming consoles in order to brag to my friends that my console is #1, or that, you know, I can talk shit. Hey man, your console's dying. I don't. I mean, I own a Virtual Boy. Believe me, if I bought consoles because they sold well, I would not own a Virtual Boy. Okay? And the fact that the Wii sold so well is a fucking fluke. So, generally speaking, Nintendo hasn't had a blind share of the market since, aside from the Wii, since the NES, and to a degree the SNES. So, I mean, I'm not in this to say, oh, it won this, it won that. Look, I buy systems to play games. I prefer Nintendo games. So, Nintendo games are the end-all be-all. Or, well, not the end-all be-all, but that's what I prefer. So, I buy Nintendo consoles to play Nintendo games. I'm old school like that. So, I mean, you know, why do you buy? I mean, so, I'm not quoting, you know, do you play games for the enjoyment, or do you play games because you want to gloat to your friends that, you know, the console that you own the game on is better than the other? Because that's a really bad reason to own a video game system, so that you can gloat about it. I mean, I got a GameCube. It didn't outsell jack shit, but it's still one of my favorite consoles. Got an N64. Didn't outsell the PS1. Still one of my favorite consoles. The SNES struggled in the first 2 or 3 years. Still one of my favorite consoles. So, you know, the Wii, I was a bit iffy about the Wiimote. Still one of my favorite consoles. I don't buy systems for, you know, social status. I buy systems because I want to play games. Anyway, calm down. Everything's gonna be okay. Nintendo will be fine. Nintendo will still be making handhelds and consoles in the next 20 years, trust me, there's too much money in it. If only the Wii is an example of too much money in it. They might not be able to replicate the Wii, but there's money in it. And the mobile market isn't as stable as it could be, so they need that's their backbone. Nintendo relies on pillars. They've just added a fourth pillar to their 3-pillar strategy. It used to be their handhelds, their consoles, and the software. Now it's the mobile platforms and PC. So it's a 4. They got 4, and then they're going to add a 5th with quality of life. So that's going to increase the stability of the company, and hopefully they will make them stronger, make them more money so they can make better games. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. So have a good day.